Or?
No.
No?
No, shelling, a lot of shelling. And, see, because the water section sits in the background. The rifle platoons are up front, then you have the machine guns, then you have the mortars. So anyway, I thought it was over. You know, I seen the flag go up. So anyway, we stopped moving out again.
Well, what'd you think when the flag went up on Suribachi?
I thought the war was. I thought we took the island, and that really burned the Japanese when they saw that flag. They went bananas. They were throwing everything at us. As a matter of fact, we were in. No, it wasn't the third. It was about the sixth day. We were in this big hole. There was 6 of us, and the Japanese were using what they call ladder fire. They fire one round, and it would come over here. Then they probably give a click of elevation. The next round went over here, and the next round over here. That 4th round was supposed to come in our hole, but it didn't come in. And we had a kid there. His name was Kessler. He had a machine gun box, like a can. It's steel. And he kept punching. I wasn't paying attention. I kept saying, what the hell's that noise? And I looked, he's punching this box. And I looked at his hand. You could almost see the knuckles, you know, the bone. Then I looked at him, and right away I knew. His nose was running, and he was ready to cry. He started to crack up. So we had to get him off the line and take him back on the beach. I don't know whatever happened to him. I never seen him again. So, there's another time. Yeah, it was me. We were in the foxhole, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I told Megan, I said, take the watch for us. I'm going to the bathroom. She said, where are you going? I said, back there. There's a big shell hole. So I went back there, I done what I had to do, and I come back in the hole. The next morning, this friend of mine, Johnny Oates, says to me, Joe, you let a Jap through the lines last night. I said, you're out of your mind. I said, no Japs got through that line. He said, I saw him plain as day. I said, where'd you see him? He says, in that hole over there. He said, I had a perfect bead on him. He said, I saw his face. I had a perfect bead on him. He said, the black cloud went in front of the moon and blocked it. He said, when the moon come out again, he said, the Jap was gone. I told him, that was me. So he didn't know.
You almost get killed by friendly fire.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. And then there was another night. Oh, the Japs, they were throwing everything at us. I was sleeping. Megan was on watch. And everything to him was like in the movies. So all of a sudden he's waking me up. Joe, wake up. I said, what's the matter? He's sitting on the edge of the foxhole, spinning his blackjack, and he's going, just like in the movies, huh? I told him, get in the hole before you get your head knocked off. But the guys that I really didn't know, they never get enough recognition are the corpsmen.
Medics.
Those guys go out, you're hurt or wounded, they get out there. They don't care about anything. We had one, his name was Crystal. He took care of more Marines, dressed their wounds, got them back to the hospital ship. But he had a habit of being a silhouette when he walks. And we used to tell him, don't do that, because one of these days, one of them's going to pick you off.
Now, what do you mean, like a silhouette? Like he stood up too high?
Yeah, and you could see it perfectly. So this one time, we were yelling, get down. And a Jap got him, shot him over here, took all this off. He's alive today. He's got all mouth, everything, teeth. No, he was a good...
Now, this was when you guys were down in the foxhole still, right? Trying to just taking a little bit of ground? Is that when this was? When this happened? With the corpsman?
No, we were moving out.
Okay.
The corpsman was going after somebody.
This is during the day?
Huh?
This is during the day or night?
This was during the day. Well, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you guys were taking ground?
And we were taking ground. He was moving to help somebody that was wounded.
Now, were you getting a lot of fire or was it shelling?
No, most of the things like it was snipers. Them Japs threw everything they had at us. And what the hell was it?
So when the corpsman got hit, what'd you guys do?
Oh, we went up and took him back. And there was another corpsman there. He took like a pen and he stuck it in this part of the I guess what do you call it when you breathe? And he took the other part and he shoved it in there.
Right.
And then the Christopher breathe again. And it was maybe the next night. When we dig, at night you have to dig in, you have to dig a place for the base plate for the mortar. That's about 40 pounds. It has to be in there because when you fire around, the plate will slide back. So I was digging, I was putting a plate in there, and the lieutenant called me out. He said, this other kid, Ortolani, he says, give Ortolani this shovel, let him finish. So I gave him the shovel. I turned around to step out of the hole, and I heard a scream. I turned around. The kid I gave the shovel to got shot through the right eye. And I looked at him, and the blood came out like a fountain. I don't know if he's alive, or I know they took him off the line. I don't know if he died or what. And then there was another guy, he was with the 4th Marine Division, but another, I don't know if you ever heard of him, Harry the Cat Platoon. He was a ball player. They say 4 Japs jumped in his foxhole. He killed all 4, but there wasn't a part of his body that they didn't stab him with. He walked off the line. 2 guys were holding him. He walked. His whole uniform was soaked in blood.
Wow.
He's still alive. But I think the worst thing in combat is the stench of dead. When you see somebody that's been laying out there for 3 or 4 days in the hot sun, you look down and see all kinds of things crawling in and out of them. And the smell, you want to throw up. But then after a while, you get used to that. The smell of, the stench of dead and the smell of gunpowder, I don't know, somehow fills your nose up. And, it doesn't bother you anymore. So anyway, we secured the island.
Now, I just wanted, before we talk about that, let me just make sure this is looking good. If you want to take a break at any point, you just tell me, okay? All right, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with the Japanese had built a lot of tunnels.
Oh yeah.
Right? So, how did you go about it when you came upon, like tunnels and stuff like that, as you were like progressing, right? And you were still moving on your objective, right? To cut to the airfields, right?
You seal it.
You seal it. Okay. Yeah. How'd you seal it?
You either can use a rocket launcher, or you use what they call it looks like a bag. You pull a pin on it and you just throw it, and it's sealed. And it's the biggest bulk of them, I'd say, are sealed in a cave under the ground.
So, when did you know you had the island secured?
Let me see. It was the island was only 8 miles long, 3.5 miles at its widest point. I think it was the 35th day. We were still moving up, and they said, all right, the island is secure, head back.
So much for a 4-day operation, huh?
Yeah. From 4 days, it went to 37.
Wow.
So anyway, we start walking back. We're told, be careful going back, because there still might be some snipers around. Now, in your K rations, they used to give us what they call a fruit bar. You could boil some water and put that fruit bar in it, and you make jelly, and you can put it on the crackers. And they also give you a chocolate bar. The name was Tropical Hershey. And it turned out that Tropical Hershey was like Tropical X-Lax. So everybody was throwing it away. Now going back on the beach after we secured the island, we were starved. We were looking on the ground for them to eat, something to eat, So then we got back to the beach. There's a slope that goes down. When you go down the slope, you board the diggers won't go back to your ship. We got to the slope, and the MP stopped us. I said, what the hell are they stopping us for? So then one of the MPs comes up, he says, take your packs, your cartridge belt, your steel pot, your rifle, and your gas mask and lay them on the ground. So we did that. Then he goes, you see that bonfire over there? He says, take all them clothes off and burn them. Then we realized we stunk. We got 37 days, you don't take a bath, you don't shave. Sometimes you go to the bathroom, you can't clean yourself the right way. So we took all the clothes off, we threw them in the bonfire, and we went down there, had a portable shower. I don't know what kind of soap they gave us, but when I walked out, I was white.
And you guys, I'm sorry, but you guys were full-blooded beards, right?
Right.
I mean, everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they gave us clean underwear, clean fatigues, clean socks, and we dressed up and went back, put on our gear, went back to the beach, and we got on the Higgins boat and went to our back aboard ship. And I gotta say one thing for the Navy, they had a meal there for us. They had steak, they had mashed potatoes, they had vegetables, they had a salad, they had pound cake all cut up with a bowl. You put as many as you want in the bowl. Then they had this big can full of strawberries, and the next one was full of whipped cream. I think everybody filled their trays to what they didn't realize is you couldn't eat it all because for 37 days your stomach shrunk.
Right.
But I had 2 nice pieces of steak left on my tray. So I got 4 slices of bread, I made 2 sandwiches, I put mashed potatoes on top, and later on that night we had them. But the worst part was, I stood on the fantail of that ship, and I looked at that island, and it gave you an eerie feeling. There wasn't a noise, not a sound. It was like the dead. And I could hear the anchor being pulled up. We started leaving. I watched that island till it looked like a pimple in the water, and then it faded. And there was somebody who once said, and that's what came back to me, I know when I die I'm going to go to heaven because I spent my time in hell. And that's... Now, we lost so many men, that's why we went back to Maui.
It's okay, okay. 1 second. Go.
No, I'm fine. Okay.
Thanks. Now, I just want to talk real quick. What kind of ship were you on? Like, this was...
APA.
Yep. Okay. Now, all right. So, ship, you sailed away from Iwo Jima. Where'd you guys go?
We went back to Maui.
Okay.
And we got we went and picked up our sea bags because you pack everything before you leave. In case you die, that bag is sent to your parents or your wife. Or if you're wounded and you go to, say, Australia or Guam or Hawaii, it'll follow you there. We got all that, got everything put away, set things up. And then the rumor was going around, it looks like the war is going to be over. And then again, others were saying, no, the next place we're going is Japan. And it was maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days after that, a guy yelling, screaming. So what's the matter? He said, the war's over, Japan surrendered.
I want to just take a break for a minute.
Huh?
Can we take a break for a second? We're just going to take a break for a moment, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Check, check, check. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so you now. I just want to go back for a second about when you guys left Iwo Jima. There was the great possibility that the America was going to invade Japan.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what at that point after you guys came off Iwo Jima, what were you thinking? Like, Jesus, what's next? Like.
Oh, of course, we all did. Once we get back to Maui, everybody was saying, I wonder where the hell they're going to send us next. You know, that's when we started picking up the rumors about Truman and suddenly when it was over, I said, I'm going back home. But that's when they come out with that point system. I was short 6 points. So they sent me to Okinawa. Okinawa was already secured. So I went out to Okinawa as a 9th MD Battalion. And my job out there was, we had a Japanese interpreter.
Hey, I'm sorry, we just wait until the... Is that the...
Well,
yeah.
That'll stop.
Yeah, that's fine. Can we just go back because it overheard that? What? All right. So you're talking about Truman, and you heard about the what? Did you?
No, we heard that he asked his general staff, "What are the odds if we hit Japan?" And his general staff told him they estimate 1 million dead the first day. So Truman didn't like that, and he had what was known then as the Manhattan Project. And he told him drop it. So I think at that time it was Colonel Tibbets and his crew were assigned that job. They left from Tinian. And the first bomb, the Japanese didn't want to surrender. So they dropped the second bomb on Nagasaki. And the Japanese wanted to surrender then, but they wanted to surrender under conditions. And Truman said that Franklin Delano Roosevelt said unconditional. And they had warned him already that we have 9 more like this ready to go. That's why Japan surrendered. So anyway, like I said, I went to Okinawa.
Okay, what'd you do there?
Job was to get the Japanese out of the hills that didn't believe the war was over. So they gave us a Japanese interpreter. The Japanese interpreter drove a kamikaze boat. He was a nice kid. I said to him, he spoke good English. I said, how come you didn't crash into the boats? And he looked at me, he said, you think I'm crazy? He said, no. He said, I jumped off and I swam and gave myself up.
What was he on? He was
A kamikaze boat.
Yeah, not a submarine, but a boat.
No,
Yeah.
a boat. He had to drive it into a ship or something.
So what did he say?
He said, I jumped off. He said, I'm not crazy. But I imagine he's home, you know. But he told me he can never go back to Japan. You know, they were taught a Marine had to kill their mother and father in order to become a Marine. That's what the women on Okinawa that jumped off the cliffs, that's what they believed. They didn't trust Marines. So anyway,
Who jumped off cliffs?
the women with the babies in their arms,
The Japanese women?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were afraid of us. So anyway, I used to take him, we used to go up in the mountains and he'd talk to come out and surrender. I think all the time only 3 come out and surrendered. And there was one night where the Seabees were just building. So there was 4 of us in the tent, plus the Japanese interpreter. I said, I'm going up to